Hello, welcome back to my channel. My name is Brooke and I'm a life coach. In today's video, I'm just going to be sharing my story of kind of what I've been through and why I wanted to be a life coach. Some of the struggles that I've been through and why I'm so passionate in helping you just up-level your life in every single way. Thank you for sharing this time with me. Thank you for sharing your energy with me and listening to what I have to say. I really greatly appreciate it. Let's get into it. Okay, so I don't even know where to begin. I guess let's go back to middle school. Definitely 7th, 8th grade. I remember the first time I was with my friends, a couple of my friends, my girlfriends, and we walked up to our guy friends, and then when we turned around to walk away, they all started giggling. And we all were kind of weirded out by that and asked them what they were laughing about. They were making comments about my friend's butt. And for me, that was the first time that I had ever even really looked at my body in that way and started looking at other people's bodies. So I think it was in 7th grade. But then I just started really comparing myself to other people, and I took them making comments about her butt and sexualizing her body. I took that as an insult to me. Why aren't they looking at me like that? Am I not pretty enough? Does my butt not look good enough? And that was the initial spark. The way that she was so exposed to diet culture also exposed me, and in ways that I wasn't even really aware of at the time. Now being an adult, I can see how, always wanting to lose weight and never feeling good enough in your body, how that transfers over to a young girl watching that. And it's so important for us in general, but especially if you're a mom or if you have some type of influence on anybody, but especially a younger generation. It's so important that we do our shadow work, and it's so important that we learn to love ourselves just as we are, okay? It doesn't mean that it's okay to want to be healthier and it's okay to have these goals, but I think simultaneously we need to also just appreciate our bodies and appreciate what they do for us. But after that day, the whole day with the stupid boys, that really effed with my brain. And that's when I started playing around with my food, and I started going on diets. I just would not, and this is a, trigger warning here. Anyone that has, anyone that struggles with an eating disorder or any mental illness, just trigger warning, please, because I am going to be talking about, my experience with those things. But I would try to not eat all day or as long as I could go without eating, which wasn't that long. But it was a mental thing. Even though on the outside, I never was super, super skinny, or, I didn't look like I had an eating disorder, because not everybody looks the same that has an eating disorder. And you don't have to be, tiny, 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 skin and bones to have an eating disorder. So nobody knew what I was going through, and again, this is why I do what I do, because I didn't have the help that I needed back then. And I was a child, and I didn't really understand that I even needed help. I felt so alone in everything that I was experiencing, and that's nobody's fault. Everybody comes to a place where they have to do work on themselves, and this was just my journey. And I'm thankful for everything that I experienced, because I love who I am. And it gave me purpose, and I love my purpose. But I definitely don't blame anybody for not seeing the signs and helping me. But when I got into high school, I think that the pressure really cranked up. I started just doing little self-harm things to myself, on top of also restricting my food. I just completely lacked confidence in myself. I did cheerleading and I loved the dancing part. I hated the cheering part, loved the dancing part, loved the stunts. So I felt really strong, but I always compared my body to other people. And if you've ever done cheerleading, you know, like with the, you know, when you're stunting, I was a base, and I think at one point I think I was a flyer, and that really messed with me a little bit when I wasn't a flyer anymore and I was strong and I liked being a base, but being told that, oh, this person's going to be a flyer because they're small. They're smaller than you. Um yeah. That hurt. And it wasn't a personal thing, which I know now. But yeah, cheerleading was big for me because we're in skirts and, you know, just seeing everybody's bodies look different. And I thought that that was a bad thing. I thought, as my child self, I thought that it was bad if I didn't look like this person, or if I didn't have, you know, as low of body fat as she did, and like a six pack like she did, and tiny legs like she did. I thought that it was bad. And then I got a boyfriend, and there was a lot of disrespectful behavior going on that really played around with my mind too, and really made me think like I wasn't as good as these other girls, and it made me really retreat. Like, I already had a ton of issues when it came to my self-esteem. But then when I was cheated on over and over and over again, and it was pretty public, like lots of people seemed to know, and you know, there wasn't a whole lot of trying to hide anything. I stopped being friendly. I stopped being bubbly. I really isolated myself from other people. I stayed with my friends and with myself, and I stopped smiling, and I stopped looking friendly. Like, people used to say that I had a resting bitch face. They used to call me a bitch, but it wasn't that I was a bitch. Like, I was so hurt on the inside, and it was years of buildup, you know, that led to this point where I just thought that I was not worthy enough to speak. I thought I had nothing good enough to provide to any conversation. Nobody's gonna want to be my friend. I'm not ever gonna make a new friend. And that's how I felt for a really long time, like all through high school and even beyond. Like, I compared myself so much to women, and whether it was on social media or just like day to day, whatever. I remember this one time I took my son to go get shoes. We went to the mall, and I was wearing shorts because it was summer and it was hot. And like, me even putting on these shorts and leaving the house was a big deal. And I already wasn't feeling too great about it, but I did it because it was hot and whatever. So we walk into the store, and there just happened to be a mirror right there. And the first thing that I looked at was my legs. I went straight to my legs, and I just saw them look like skinny fat, you know? Like, I didn't have a lot of muscle. I wasn't working out at the time. And they just kind of were jiggly. Like, they're just being legs, not doing anything wrong. But I was so disgusted with them. I was so disgusted with the way that I looked in those shorts. And that's all I remember about that trip. I remember hating the way I looked in shorts. And I didn't wear shorts again for a really long time. Like, I would go into the sauna and the gym in my full clothes. And my husband now, boyfriend at the time, would be like, why, like, just like, wear your sports bra, just take your shirt off. Like, he thought it was kind of funny. And oh my God, you would not have caught me in that sauna without, you know, all of my clothes. Like, I couldn't even wear a bathing suit. And then I had a kid, you know, I had a son when I was 19 years old, and I had stretch marks and loose skin. And so I already had a hard time with my body. And then after I had my son, I had an even harder time with my body because now it felt like there was more to not like. I couldn't see one thing that I liked about myself. If you asked me, Brooke, did you like anything about yourself? No, I didn't. And you know why? It's because I wasn't thinking about it. I wasn't being purposeful with my thoughts. I was just allowing myself to be on autopilot and just spiral down this negative thought pattern. I only saw the negative, and I always saw the negative. I judged myself so hard. And, you know, not only with my image, but with my personality, I was really conditioned to be a good girl, to be quiet, to sit still and listen and do what you're told in order to be loved. And, you know, not to say that that was real. You know, no one in my life told me you need to be a good girl if you want to be loved. Nobody said that, okay? It was just my mind. It was how I was perceiving situations around me. You know, when I was a child, there was a point in time where I felt like I couldn't talk. Like I felt like me talking and voicing my opinion and my needs didn't matter and nothing was going to change anyways. So I, as a person, as a whole, was just turned inside. So the shell of a person that I was putting out to the world was absolutely not me. I didn't know who she was. Well, yeah, so it was like 2019. 2019 was a really difficult year for me, and I did record a video talking about this, but I haven't uploaded it, so maybe I'll upload it. But it was just a difficult year for me, but it was the best year of my life because it was the year that like everything changed for me. And I started to use my voice, and I started to really focus on healing myself from the inside out. And I started really understanding that my thought patterns are what's the problem. My body is not the problem. And I thought that I was confident. You know, I was like a fitness coach and I was really healthy, like a low body fat. I had a plump booty, like everything that I thought I wanted. And then I got pregnant. And that really did me in a little bit. And that was really like another huge lesson for me that I needed to see. Like, wow, like I thought I was so confident, but it was just because oh, boo, boo, we have a baby. My mother-in-law watches her a couple days a week for me, and so she just got dropped off. Dog. You wanna go see the dogs? I don't remember where I was. So I'm just gonna pick up at a random spot here. Because that's what we do when we're moms. We go and get pregnant with that girl. I really had to adjust because obviously I knew I was pregnant and there was no like there wasn't really ill like feelings about my body because I knew my body was like doing so much. So it really was practice for me to appreciate my body, to have gratitude for my body. Like it was growing my baby. So yeah, I was gaining weight and I was so tired. I had no energy. Like I just was not working out like I thought I was going to when I got pregnant. And so I did gain a lot of weight. I gained like, how much did I gain? I was 120, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60. So I was 160 at my last appointment. So 40 pounds. She's climbing up my tripod. So I gained 40 pounds in total. And then after the fact, like, yeah, you know, my body looked very different, but I had this gorgeous little angel to remind me, like, why my body looked like this. And it was an adjustment period. I kind of tweetled back and forth with, like, gratitude and also, like, oh, like, I don't really feel very confident, but that also came from just having a baby. And you know, if you've had a baby before, you know that like infant stage where your hair is just up in a bun, like you're wearing sweats, like, and you know, big t-shirts, like it's not the cutest time for looks, but it's like the best time for bonding. And that's how it was for me and her. So now that she is almost one, she'll be one next month. I just the last couple of months, like, thank you. When I started to just feel more like myself, started getting my energy back, just started feeling more like me, like Brooke, like not just a mom, not just a wife, but me. And I really prioritized that. Yay. Yay. Yeah, when I prioritized that, like, I just really shifted from the fact that, like, my worth is not, my worth is not in my body. The way that I look is the least important thing about me, and it took me so long to get to that point. Hi, do you want to come here? It took me a long time to get to the point where I, like, and I still am not really working out much. Like, I go on walks as much as I can. She loves me outside. She loves going on walks. Yeah, the dogs, they're outside. And I do yoga. She does yoga with me. And I do what I can. I'm starting a business. I'm a mom to a baby, and I have, my husband and I have 2 kids from like previous relationships that are 9 and 10. So there's a lot going on. Like, building my butt is not my number one priority like it used to be when I was doing like fitness stuff on Instagram, when I had the time. Well, I feel healthy, and I really practice every single day with my mindset, because it is a daily thing. It's not like you just get to a point and then everything is fine and perfect and you love the way that you look and you never struggle again. That's not the case. I wish it was, but it's not. So if you're in a similar position, or if you relate to any of this, please don't get down on yourself when you have a bad day, like when you don't feel your absolute best, because perfection does not exist. And we have the power in our minds. Like, we can't always, like, our bodies take time to change, right? And for me, I've nursed 2 babies. Sorry. I've nursed 2 babies. I've had 2 babies. Like, my titties are a little saggy, and they're kind of little, and that's fine. Like, they've done so much for me. They literally nourished my babies for as long as I nursed, and my skin is, it's loose, but I don't care, because what I got from that, what my body gave to me, is so much more than having perky tits and a tight little stomach. Like, that's not important to me. And when I shifted my attention and my focus away from the importance being only on my body and my looks to being authentic and being happy and being grateful and just being full of love, that's when I started gaining true confidence. And now I have, I've had kids for a while. Obviously, I said my son is 9. Having a girl myself just also hits differently, because she is just being a girl. She's going to be subjugated to things that my son won't be, and vice versa. My son's going to deal with things that she won't have to deal with. But I feel like I take such... Oh, she's going to make so much noise. It's my job to heal myself and focus on my self-worth and my self-love, because she's watching me. They're all watching me. My husband's daughter, my bonus baby, she's a 10-year-old girl. They're all watching me. And they're watching how I speak to myself, and they're watching the things that I do and how I act and how I treat my body. Good job. She's pushing her little walker. Hey. And I want to treat myself the way that I want them to treat themselves. And that's a really helpful thing for me that maybe can help you. So, think about treating yourself the way that you would like your kids to treat themselves and to think about themselves. So I'm gonna leave this here, because this little monster here, do you want to come here? Oh. She's messy with food. She just had lunch, huh? I'm gonna leave this here because the baby needs me. But I hope that you enjoyed, that you found peace through hearing my story, and let me know if there's anything that I can do to assist you on your journey to embodying your highest self. Oh my God, she just took 4 or 5 steps. Just earlier today, she took 4 steps, maybe 4 steps. So that was 5. Wow, we're getting there. Yeah, let me know if there's anything that I can do to assist you on your journey of healing and embodying your higher self. The next video that I'm doing, I'm going to talk about what your higher self actually means and how you can embody her. Hi! Have a lovely day. I'm sending you lots of positivity and loving energy your way.